This is the bronze C coat. You can see it's slightly shiny.
What kind of material is that?
This is on plastic, piece of plastic with Bondo. Bondo is a type of putty material used to fix cars,
right,
dents in cars. So I put Bondo on here, and then this is 2 coats of bronze B and 2 coats or 3 coats of bronze C. And then I put on a Tiffany green, and then I burnished it back so that you get the highlights of the bronze, and in the recess you get the greens. So then the next thing would possibly be, the B or C coat does not have to be sealed, but if you've got the C coat and you've buffed it up, you've now exposed the metal, so it's going to oxidize like real metal, so then you're going to want to seal it if you want it to look like it does at the time you've buffed it. Okay, so one of the possibilities that we have is our new Smart Coat. This is a new water-based coating. Excellent, very, very hard. The only thing is it's a little slow curing time. It is actually very hard within an hour, but full curing is about 9 days.
Okay.
It seems to go over anything. I've been trying that on everything, so I get familiar with it.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not that familiar with it yet. But I put it over everything, and it sticks to everything. So we'll spray on some Smart Coat.
Now you just put on a thin layer?
You always want to put on thin layers.
Correct. Then you just let that sit, and again, this Smart Coat is actually just a clear coat. So
it's a clear coat.
Is this protective?
It's a clear urethane acrylic, water-based urethane acrylic, which is the biggest thing now, are urethanes.
Okay. So what's that next piece that you have there?
This is a piece of steel. This is a hot roll that I burnished back on the high points to give it a polished look. I've left the fire scale in the recesses, and then I took, we have dyes, solvent-based dyes, and I put my orange solvent-based dye on there, and then over the orange solvent-based dye I'm ready now to put some sort of a seal coat. So we have 2 choices here. One would be wax is a possibility. The other would be our new oil. This is our new oil rub. And we have it in 3 colors. We have it in black, brown, green, and clear. Wax we have in 12 colors. So you can tint your object, whatever it happens to be, slightly with the waxes. The waxes are semi-transparent.
Right.
Let me go get a, well, let's see, I need a rag here. So the first one we'll do with the clear wax. It's very creamy. It has a on the iron and steel it's a 6-hour 12-hour curing time. On the bronze, brass, and copper it's a 6-hour curing time for the wax. And one of the things you have to think about when you're putting this on is, number one, you want to put it on very, very thin, and make sure there's no ridges, because once it gets hard, it's 5 times as hard as any normal wax.
Oh wow.
This is the only wax there is for metal. Everything else is a floor wax.
Right.
Johnson's paste wax or whatever those. So, so then the way you can tell if you're ready to buff it is if you take your finger and go like that, and you get an oily film on your finger, it's not ready. If nothing comes off on your finger, you're ready to buff.
So again, that was a thin coat of the wax.
Coat.
That's clear wax.
Clear wax, and eventually you would want to put 3 coats on.
Okay.
Let each coat dry. Buff it very, you want to buff it heavily, and then put your next coat on.
And you would buff with steel wool, or
no, you microfiber cloth.
Okay.
If you can.
And so now you're using another wax, correct? Or that, is that an oil?
This is an oil. The thing you have to consider on these, the Smart Coat is probably good for 5 years, maybe. The oil and the wax are maybe good from a year to 2 years.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a shorter lifespan on these two, which means you'd have to do them again. Indoors, indefinitely. Outdoors is what we're talking about for the 2 years, 1 to 2 years.
Right. Now, what color is this wax that you're using here?
This is clear,
That one's clear.
but we have 10 colors.
And this new one that you have here that you just opened?
This is our oil.
That's the oil.
And we have 3 colors in the oil. We have 3 colors and 1 clear. This is our clear oil.
Okay.
And then we have a black, a brown, and a green.
Now, I know with a lot of the products that you have to shake them or stir them before using. Same thing with the oil?
Yes, the oil, because I have a lot of different things in the oil, so yeah, I definitely want to shake it. You want to, again, put on a very, very thin coat on here.
Just enough to make it look wet?
Yeah, just enough to make it look wet. Again, this is the same sort of thing where you'd want to put on more than 1 coat.
Right.
I just noticed that pulled my dye.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. That's because there's solvents in this that are same solvents as the dyes.
Oh, yeah.
I have to remember that. So this takes about 6 to 12 hours to dry. About 6 to 12 hour drying time.
Okay.
The Smart Coat will go over the oil.
But you have to let it dry first.
You'd have to let it dry for at least a day to 2.
Right.
Or two before you can put the Smart Coat on.
So you oil it, let it dry,
And-
smart coat it, and it should be good for 5 years outdoors.
Oh yeah, should be easy.
Yeah.